Hey guys, what is up? Lefty back here again, and thanks for checking out the video. So today, got a fun little product overview / review sort of thing, at least ongoing in the process. And it's gonna be the Sig 1-6 Tango MSR. Let's get into it. All right, Sig. I love me some Sig. So real quick, for people just to kind of understand where I'm coming from, I've never been a huge fan of Sig. Everybody knows about the 226. I always wanted one when I was a kid. Then I got the feel when I'm like, maybe not so much. Since then, they've been doing a lot of shit. Over the past, like probably 5 years, they've been dipping their nose and toes into everything, or if not even longer than that. And at a point, I was getting like, okay, Sig, you need to calm the fuck down a little bit. Because they got into making optics, they got into making ammo, they got into making just these weird fucking guns that seem to go off for no reason and stuff like that. So my opinion of Sig has been kind of, steadily waning, especially with the 320 kind of thing and the issues with the 365 when it first launched. But now that's getting better, so whatever. I still won't ever touch a 320, even though I don't think they feel that bad. I think they need to fix their shit first before I would ever even load that thing. But that being said, their optics have been kind of interesting, and as of recently, have kind of caught my eye a little bit. So this is a 1-6 Tango MSR, like I said. These are, at least before this event happened, I think these are probably one of the best bang for your buck in terms of the optics. We bought this off of Euro Optic, or I bought this off of Euro Optic for about just under 300 bucks. I want to say it was like 270 or something like that. That's optic and mount included, which is a pretty decent deal in my opinion, considering that one of the other LPVOs, or at least the only LPVO that I own, is this one, which is a Trijicon. I believe it is the AccuPower, back before they changed their name and stuff like that, riding in an ADM mount. The ADM mount is about 250-ish bucks. I think they probably went up a little bit, but basically just this mount is about equal to that entire package right there. So not bad in terms of price. Now the quality and the whatever of the optic, it's pretty damn good for 250, 270-ish bucks, however much we paid. And especially in terms of a 1-6, the glass clarity is not as clear as this AccuPower, but it's not that far off, especially that it's equal to the price of the mount. And when I bought this AccuPower, it was about 600, 700 bucks. If not more, I don't really remember. But I do really like this optic for what I kind of was looking for. This was perfect. I mean, it's got an illuminated reticle. It's small and it's light, which is not the case with this. This is a big chunky boy. But I mean, that's kind of what you get in terms of some of the stuff as you get up there. You won't really get much of a performance increase, but your performance will be better because it's smaller and lighter and stuff like that, and it still does the same job. But nevertheless, going back to this, both of these optics are second focal plane, which will obviously is reflected in the price. For me personally, from what I have played with, second focal plane is not bad. I'm not going to go into the differences there and kind of the pros and cons of the second focal plane, but when you go for budget optics, honestly, it's better to go second focal plane because your image quality, especially at further distance, is going to be better. Everybody likes the ability to zoom in on your reticle and have that sort of, it's basically 0 to any distance sort of thing. Because if you crank it all the way up to 6 power, 0 on 6 power, when you back it down to 1, it's not going to be entirely accurate to that 0. Because I don't really understand math and all that stuff, but it doesn't basically affect it. But anyway, going back to this optic, it's a pretty decent one for the price. Like I said, I played with a bunch of other ones. The Vortex Strike Eagles, I think those are shit. I think the eye box on those is just complete dog shit. And I think they're comparable to this, which is probably what Sig's plan is ultimately, is just to kind of push some of those lower ones out and kind of capture the market in terms of that price range and stuff like that. So going forward, I like this system. Like I said, I mean, it's pretty dumb idiot proof. It's got this line right here that you can just line up and basically will balance the scope and stuff like that. And it comes with a lot of stuff. It comes with that really, really nice little detachable peg in there for everybody that loves pegging. It's really easy to flip it over and it's pretty smooth relatively. The Trijicon has a little bit smaller of a handle and it makes it kind of cranking it all the way up a little bit of a pain in the ass, but this is pretty easy to do, and it's got a nice knurling here. The illumination is pretty bright. The knobs and stuff like that got a nice click to them, nice positive click, and it seems to work pretty fucking well. The reticle, I'm curious to see if I can even get this to work here. Let's see if we can get this to, oh, news is on. I don't even know where the fucking camera is. Oh, this is not working. Okay, you can sort of see the ghost image in there where it has these, fuck it, fail. All right, so anyway, it's kind of a big kind of upside down horseshoe with a dot in there, and then it has like a tree going down, and then it has these really kind of annoying etched kind of chevrons coming from the side. So it's kind of a busier reticle than I like, but you know, for what it is, it's not bad. I don't mind it. So everything was going well. I mean, this thing was pretty easy to zero. It was a little bit off when I got it out of the box, which was kind of odd to me. Most of the optics that I've played with have been pretty much on. This one was way off paper at 25 yards, which was a little weird to me. But anyway, I was worried that the optic may be having a little bit of an issue, but nope, it went fine. I zeroed in, there was no issues. These caps right here kept coming loose, and that'll kind of play into what the issue is coming up later here. There is a way to kind of Loctite these. It's kind of assy. You kind of have to kind of rim it and then circle it back on. I'm not a big fan of the mount, and that's kind of the biggest drawback to this kind of optics package. Now, if you can get past the mount, granted, because it's only 280 bucks or 300 bucks, however much you find it for, you're gonna end up paying probably about 200-ish or somewhere between 100 and $200 for another mount. It still brings it up to 500 bucks, which is far less than a lot of LPVOs on the market. There is that. But one of the biggest issues with the optic, like I said, is the mount. So, got it zeroed, started shooting, brought it out yesterday, started shooting, and I noticed I was far more inaccurate than I usually am. It was shooting far left and far low, like just horrible, like I'm shooting right-handed Glock. And remember, I'm a left-handed people, so that's pretty unlikely for me. And I looked at it, and I'm like, oh, something's not fucking right. So I put it out at like 15, and I just put the fucker on a bench, and I'm just like, all right, hang on, let me take some shots. And it was shooting far low left. I'm like, all right, something's fucked up here. So I looked at it, I'm like, okay, what the fuck's going on here? I was like, oh, maybe my knobs came loose again. So I came, cranked the first one, tried to crank the second one. Oh, just kidding. It's gone. Now, people are probably thinking, oh my God, you fucking overcranked it, you idiot. And that could have been the case. I honestly don't know. I cranked it to 65 inch-pounds. Fucker was still coming loose. So cranked it a little bit more. I've learned this the hard way, that you never over tighten shit. Did I tighten it more than 65 inch-pounds? Probably, but it was not cranked on there. Well, one interesting thing that happened was, and if you can see these little pegs in here, this one is perfectly flat, and this one, as you can see, has a little bit of a cant to it. Now on the rifle that it was on, it was actually marring up the Picatinny, so I think this, and I'm not exactly sure how this is designed, but I'm pretty sure these are meant to be completely flat in this mount, because you can't really back these out. You can take these bolts out, or excuse me, these things out, but these little pegs kind of are stuck in there. So this might be a manufacturer issue. I'm not exactly sure. But as you can see, there's a little bit of a cant to it, and that could have did some little uneven stress on the actual bolt and the actual screw itself. When it was tightened down, it was torquing and it was putting too much tension on it, and it just snapped off under recoil, because it had to come off under recoil, because when I brought the fucker out, there was both of these were attached. So not really sure what exactly happened there. I'm not sure if this is just some pop can metal screw that maybe just had a defect or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but I have a feeling that this may have played a role in the thing shearing off. So once I noticed it, and once I looked, oh shit, that fucker is not what it's supposed to be, I quickly re-zeroed the gun, and I was curious to see, okay, this has enough tension on it, it should be holding it tight enough with just one bolt. Let me see if I can re-zero it. I tried to re-zero, and I got a pretty decent zero on it, and I kept shooting with it, and it was fine. So in the event something like that happened and you were able to re-zero it, it would still hold zero and it still shot fine. Out to 50 roughly. So take that for what it's worth. But nevertheless, not a big fan that did that, because in my opinion, I should be able to tighten this fucker down to 300 inch-pounds. Not really, but I mean, you should be able to tighten this thing down quite a bit more than what it says on it for recommended, and it should not break the screw. And people, I'm sure, in the comments somewhere, are you still tightening it down too much? Maybe, but I mean, still, that fucker should be able to take that. And if I torqued it down too much, that thing should have broke by my hand alone, you know, not by under recoil. So something tells me something is not exactly right. So the second part of the story, which I've heard from a lot of people, that Sig has really good customer service. So I was kind of curious. So went on the website, found the number, gave him a call early in the morning, and I was like, "Hey, bro, can you help me out?" And actually, it was a female, a very nice lady. I basically told her, "Hey, I got this 1 to 6 Tango MSR, zeroed it. Things started to come loose on the knobs. Cranked the fuckers down a little bit." I actually said this to her. And started shooting. I noticed under recoil, the little lug nut, or whatever you want to call them, little nut thing, screw sheared off. And then all she asked me was my name, my number, and my address. And she said, "Wait a minute, what size or what scope did you have again?" I was like, "Tango 1 to 6. Actually, I said the black one at first because I'm retarded. But then I was like, "Oh yeah, it was a 1 to 6, because she asked me a 1 to 6 or 1 to 8. Then after a few seconds of writing everything down or typing everything into her computer, she's like, "All right, I'll send you a new mount in a couple days." All right, Sig, I see you. I see you there. Now, there is something to be said about a good customer service, and there's also something better to be said about good customer service that you never have to use. But at the same time, I think it's worthy of taking note that basically no questions asked, and I'm getting a new mount for free, and and stuff like that. So that is pretty neat. Now, there could be two sides to this coin. One, they know that this mount is not great, so they're just understanding there's some sort of manufacturer defect in these mounts, and that's why they're saying no questions asked, here's a new mount. Or they're just that good and they just have fucking Daddy Warbucks amount of money that they just don't care, because it probably costs like $50 to make one of these mounts or something, not even. So for what it's worth, still pretty good customer service, and it's good to see an American company. I think Sig is somewhat of an American company. I know they have like American departments or something like that, but I don't know. Regardless, it's good to see good customer service where people stand behind their products and the shit that they actually sell to people. So all in all, like I said, I'm still a fan of this optic. It is big and it is heavy, but for the money, it is pretty damn good. I'm gonna get a new mount and I'm gonna zero it again and go run it through its paces and just see how it is. Because like I said, I like the optic. It's just the mount makes me very sad face. And again, Sig makes me kind of sad face because it seems like they kind of beta test their products on the consumer market to sell it to military and police side. Maybe not. I don't know. But on the end of this story, the customer service, pretty damn awesome. So we'll see when we actually get it here. It is November 1st, and I might just make a quick little post on a short or something like when I receive it, and then zeroing in and if I have any issues in the future. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you want to support the channel, links down here in the description. I think these are sold on Amazon. I might actually put one down there if you guys want to check them out. But other than that, you can find me on YouTube. You can find me on X, which is just stupid. And then yeah, if you want to support the channel, anything down here brings me to my Amazon affiliate link. You can buy stuff through that, and I get a small percentage, but you don't pay any extra. So pretty cool beans all around. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Be good.